Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 8-year-old boy killed in Clarendon by gunman. For Mighty Diamonds lead singer shot down by police. In sports, day 3 of the Asa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships underway at the Nationals. I'm Giovanni Dennis and here are the details. Up first this afternoon, an 8-year-old boy is dead and his father battling for life in hospital following a gun attack in Clarendon last night. It's unclear at this time what led to the attack. O'Shane Masters has the details.
The nation's children continue to bleed as a result of criminals. The latest incident involves 8-year-old Thomas James Jr., otherwise called Angola, a student of Racecourse Primary in Clarendon. It's understood that the 8-year-old and his father, Thomas James, otherwise called Lion Heights, were at a shop in the Hayesfield community. The shop, located where they live, is operated by the boy's father. It's reported that about 7:45 Wednesday night, a man entered the shop and ordered a cigarette before opening gunfire at Lion Heights, hitting him in the upper body. The 8-year-old boy was shot in the head. The gunman escaped on foot. Both victims were assisted to hospital by citizens. James Jr. was pronounced dead upon arrival and Lion Heights was admitted in critical condition.
It is very, very sad, unfortunate how the thing happened, because when a life is lost, it is one too much, and this is a little baby, an 8-year-old child. And so the entire Clarendon Policing Division is in mourning for this, the loss of the life of this little boy. It is really, really sad to see the lifeless body of a young child from gunshot wounds to the head.
Just 2 weeks ago, the community was plunged into mourning following the fiery death of 2 children, 4-year-old Michaela Tomlinson and her 3-year-old sister Abigail Tomlinson, and so this charge from the police.
From what is happening, we can say that the children are not being cared for sufficiently, notwithstanding that this boy was in the care of his mother and father at the time of the incident. But when we look and see criminals killing these children, we have to wonder what is really happening in our society right now.
In the meantime, the police are asking anyone who might have any information to contact them. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
A night which was being hosted for lead singer of the Mighty Diamonds, Donald "Tabby" Diamond Shaw, was shot down by police last evening. As Sandy Williams reports, the situation has left relatives and friends of the reggae icon disgruntled.
Scores of people gathered outside the home of reggae icon Donald "Tabby" Diamond Shaw once more. This time, to celebrate his life. The Mighty Diamonds lead singer was shot and killed last Tuesday on McKinley Crescent, where he lived for many years. As customary in Jamaica, on the 9th night after his death, Tabby Diamond's family hosted a wake which usually lasts till the following morning. However, the night was brought to an abrupt end when the police intervened, turned off the music and attempted to disperse the crowd. This angered the patrons.
I don't understand an international superstar like Tabby Diamond, where America is keeping something, Paris is keeping something, England is keeping, everywhere is keeping something, except where he's born and where he grew.
I'm going to kill him again. I saw him do it. Big, great icon like Tabby Diamond. This is the honor. Andrew Holness, this is the honor you give to a man like this.
It could done in a more professional way, basically, and I think in the circumstances of our beloved artist and musician died, it would be best that the family had dialogue with the security force prior to tonight.
They argue that, given the circumstances surrounding Tabby's death, the wake could have proceeded with the presence of the security forces.
What I think should happen tonight, that Jamaican government should step to the plate and put one police at one corner, one police at the other corner, and show the international world that we do not eat the crime. Because if you eat the crime, that means you support crime. You are objected, then you must propose. Once you oppose, you must propose. We oppose the crime, we must propose protection. Protection for the people.
Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says the police's actions were appropriate.
The commanding officer reported that he heard about the planned week. He dispatched police to the family to inform them that they should not have any gathering based on the intelligence that's on the ground. And he said he learned that they still defied those instruction from the police and went ahead and organized it. So they were left with no other choice but to go there and to lock it down.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, is this afternoon standing by its ruling on the Nzinga King case despite renewed calls for a review of the matter. A report from the Office of the Public Defender supported the Rastafarian woman's claim that her hair was cut by a policewoman while in custody. Now at least one attorney wants the DPP to review her ruling.
In February, the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Paula Llewellyn, had recommended that no criminal charges be laid against the female constable in respect of the allegations. In light of a new report from the Office of the Public Defender, Ms. Llewellyn is insisting that she is satisfied with the decision not to pursue criminal proceedings against the policewoman.
As prosecutors, we have ethical parameters which oblige us to assess the case to see whether there was a reasonable prospect of conviction. And in this matter, given the grave discrepancies which destroys her credibility, there would be no viable case for prosecution.
But speaking on Radio Jamaica's Beyond the Headlines last evening, attorney representing Rastafarian woman Nzinga Knight has suggested that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, review its ruling. A report by the public defender concluded that her hair was cut by the police while she was in custody. It's the reason Mr. Buchanan believes the DPP should take another look at the case in light of the public defender's report.
It would be incumbent on state actors to review whether or not this is a case that ought to be tried in the criminal sphere and give the opportunity for a judge to be the referee, especially in light of the fact that the investigation coming out of Clarendon, in light of what is in the public space, one can question whether or not the fairness of the investigation was done.
The Office of the Public Defender has recommended that criminal charges be brought against the officer involved in the incident. In addition, it wants the government to compensate Ms. King for the cutting of her hair, which it says violated her constitutional rights. The public defender also says she should be paid damages for the assault committed by the police. Cody Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
And it's now time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. We'll have much more when we return. Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Concerns this afternoon about persons stealing ground produce and vegetables from farmers in Cave Valley, St. Anne. Aseneth Allen is one of many farmers in the area who has been badly affected by predial thieves. Ms. Allen says she plants callaloo among several other crops, but is unable to reap at the appropriate time because of thieves.
Well, sometimes they come and then cut it before me and then go market. So when they cut it, then me not have none for go market with. So then cut it and left me high and dry. Gungo, me plant gungo, then come then reap it same way, just the same. Me not have any for move with when weekend come.
And this is a great loss not just to her, but other farmers in the area. They're all fed up and want the authorities to do something to address the problem.
Sometimes you can't think less than to give up. Because they don't leave you with no other choice than to give up. And it's not easy for work, ground. And a whole, for get up a morning time, draw water, wet you up from your head to your foot. After this, you soon can walk. And of them get the benefit out of it, and you don't have no benefit for getting at the long run. So, sooner or later, we have to give up.
The government says significant benefits are to be derived from the 3 Million Trees initiative, which was launched in 2019. It comes as Naranda Bauxite recently broke ground for a nursery for 200,000 seedlings in Water Valley, St. Anne. O'Shane Masters reports.
Minister with responsibility for the environment, Matthew Samuda, says the trees will help in battling the adverse effects of climate change.
Efforts like this are particularly important if we are to put ourselves back on a sustainable path for groundwater, a sustainable path for air quality, and to make sure that we build in the resilience using nature-based solutions for the large-scale weather events that will indeed happen. But as I said, climate change is a concept of now, it's not a concept of the future. You have many other issues that come with the sorts of activities that aren't limited to mining. They're also tied to agriculture, etc.
Operation Discovery Tree, combined with the company's already progressive reclamation and rehabilitation programs, is intended to mitigate the impact of mining activities and leave the environment with improved forest cover and reduce our operations' carbon footprint.
This comes on the heels of controversy over mining operations in the Cockpit Country Protected Area and the Dry Harbour Mountains area of St. Anne. On March 17, Prime Minister Andrew Holness officially declared the Cockpit Country a legally protected area. The protected area covers 78,024 hectares of land.
This fits within Jamaica's strategy as a part of what you call the High Ambition Coalition. We're also a part of the 30 by 30 coalition. Jamaica has committed that it will protect 30% of its landmass and 30% of its fresh and seawater.
But while that will happen, Mr. Samuda noted that the economic benefits from the land cannot be disregarded.
By protecting up to 30% of Jamaica's EEZ, we could extract 10 times the fish that we currently catch, sustainably so. 10 times that value. Now, when one considers that sort of economic value, you would actually start looking at importing something new. You'd be importing labor to help you. Because if we don't have the water supply that we're going to need, we won't be able to fuel the development that will truly lift our rural communities out of the poverty that they have faced for so long.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute with Cody and Barrett.
In business news, financial conglomerate Sagicor Group Jamaica has completed the acquisition of 100% of Alliance Financial Services Limited, AFSL. Vice President of Treasury at Sagicor Bank, Omar Brown, has been picked to lead AFSL, which is being integrated as a wholly owned subsidiary in the Sagicor Group, with the regulatory approval of the acquisition and the restoration of ASFL's Cambio and remittance licenses for the April 4 restart of business under new ownership and management. Sagicor Group President and CEO Christopher Zaka says AFSL's network of sub-agents will be the operational model by which Sagicor will pursue the new revenue streams. There will be a price reduction of 25 cents for all petroleum products supplied by Petrojam starting today. According to the latest weekly prices, 87 octane will be going for $191.08. 90 octane gasoline will be going for $196.70. Automotive diesel fuel, $196.70 per liter, and ultra low sulfur diesel at $201.18 per liter. Meanwhile, users of kerosene will pay $171.30 this week. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And Sandy Williams has the top regional and international stories.
In regional news, Cayman is to start delivering a fourth dose of the COVID vaccine as cases of the virus continue to rise in the British Overseas Territory. 99 cases have been reported over the past 2 days. This has pushed the number of active cases to 628. Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Samuel Williams Rodriguez, yesterday disclosed that the Public Health Department will soon deliver the fourth shot of the COVID vaccine to vulnerable patients and those aged over 75 in an effort to maintain immunity from severe illness. On the international scene, the NATO Secretary General is now warning the Russian invasion of Ukraine could wage on for years as Putin still wants, quote, the whole of Ukraine. A senior U.S. defense official says the executions of 20 tied-up civilian men in Bucha appears to be premeditated, planned, and very, very deliberate. Newly released drone video captured the macabre moments a person riding a bicycle is gunned down by Russian soldiers. Another captured the grim aftermath where bodies lie lifeless along the same street. The Pentagon says it's impossible to know how long the war will last, but they believe Ukraine can win. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we now head to a quick break. When we come back, it will be time for your Midday Sports. And it's now time for your Midday Sports. The 6 400-meter finals are scheduled for the track this evening on day 3 of the Asa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships. There will be 13 finals overall today, including the girls' Class 3 high jump, which is now underway. The boys' equivalent in Class 3 is scheduled for 2:33. The other field event finals to be contested today are the girls' javelin throw open, Class 4 girls' long jump, Class 1 boys' discus throw, Class 2 girls' long jump, and the Class 2 boys' shot put. After 8 finals, Kingston College leads the boys' section with 68 points, followed by title holders Jamaica College on 51 and St. Jago in third on 28. Reigning girls champion Edwin Allen remained out in front after 9 finals with 76 points, ahead of title chasers Heidel on 54 and St. Jago in third on 48 points. Now, earlier, all the main contenders made progress to the 200-meter semifinals on the boys and girls side, including Class 1 100-meter silver medalist Brianna Liston of Heidel, who cruised to 24.21 into a headwind of minus 4.7 meters per second. Now, live and exclusive coverage of the Asa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships can be seen on TVJ, TVJSN, OneSpotMedia.com, with radio coverage on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM. On to football now. The Reggae Girls' next opponent, the Cayman Islands, blanked Grenada 2-0 in the 2023 CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers in St. George's on Wednesday. The goals came from Cheyenne Windsor in the 53rd minute and Nisa Goodet in the 86th minute. The win takes the Cayman Islands up to 4th in the table on 3 points. The Reggae Girls, who are second on 6 points, will oppose the Cayman Islands in Georgetown on Saturday of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers if they defeat the Cayman Islands and the Dominican Republic on Tuesday. Still on football, UEFA has brought in new financial regulations which will limit clubs' spending on wages, transfers and agents' fees to 70% of their revenue. Permitted losses over a 3-year period have also risen from 30 million euros or just under 25 million pounds to 60 million euros or just under 50 million pounds. The new rules will come into force in June and clubs will have 3 years to implement them. UEFA said breaches will result in predefined financial penalties and sporting measures. Now, it is thought new reinforced punishments, including points deductions, lower-ranking competitions, and potential exclusion from European football completely, will be introduced as part of the new regulations. Clubs are expected to be allowed to spend 90% of their income in 2023-2024, reducing to 80% in 2024-2025 and 70% a year later. Manchester United have edged closer to naming Ajax boss Erik ten Hag as their new manager. Old Trafford officials continue to insist the process of appointing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's permanent successor is not complete and that it is premature to say a deal has been done. However, it is understood that Ten Hag is now the favoured candidate among senior figures at United. It was clear the choice had narrowed to Ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino. It is not thought an official announcement is imminent, and with Ajax still in a battle with PSV Eindhoven for the Dutch title, it is possible United may delay it even further out of respect for the Eredivisie Giants, where former United goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar is chief executive. If the appointment is confirmed, that should be, it is likely Ten Hag will bring in a former United coach or player as part of his backroom team, given it is unlikely the remaining link to the Solskjaer era, Mike Phelan, will remain at the club. And that's it for your Midday Sports Report, and that's it indeed for your Midday News. I'm Giovanni Dennis. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.